short journey with Swamiji. I mix these two words, the long yet short journey. Why is it long? Because it has been as if years together we have been connected to each other. But it's actually a very short journey. It's only hardly a year and a half years ago when I met Swamiji for the first time, when we were together at Bijapur. Now it is called as Vijayapur, where both of us were addressing a conference. Interestingly, our flight from Hubli was together and we were in the same car. And Swamiji and we were privileged. And whenever you see a person in orange robe, mera man mastak, unke sharanon mein chala jata hai. So I was feeling such an honor that we have a monk in the same car. And it was a 4 hours journey. In that particular time, I remember Swamiji asked me, are you that same Radhakrishna Pillai who wrote the book Corporate Chanakya? I was so thrilled because, here is a person who is blessed by Swamiji's presence, but he knew about my book Corporate Chanakya. And afterwards, he started telling about his journey in the field of management, the way he has actually organized programs, the way he has been practicing as a management consultant, his Purvashrama days, and of course, the current work he is doing. And you'd be surprised in the way we also stopped at an ashram and where we had satsang, puja. So till we took the flight, it was a journey. We continued in the flight and we came to Mumbai together when he was supposed to go and I was supposed to go in 2 different directions. My dear friends, this for me was one of the best spiritual journeys that ever happened. I just want to tell you, my dear friends, Swamiji's simplicity touched me so much. I realized that he's such a senior monk. And I'll tell you what he did. He was immediately a Santa Claus for me in the spiritual gifting space. Santa Claus always carries a bag. So you look at Swamiji, I find him very cute, like my grandfather who always used to give gifts. So what Swamiji did, he had the bag. He started giving, ye bhi rakho, ye bhi rakho, ye bhi rakho. He will give a Swami Vivekananda's book. He will give Swamiji's own audio books. He will give some stickers. And I didn't know what to say. And when it's like a prasad overflowing. I came home, I told my family, I met Swamiji, he gave the stickers, the bookmarks. But you know what? This was only the start of a very, very different connect. And afterwards, Swamiji has called me to Rajkot. We have done so many programs together. And I feel it was something which I felt as a blessing. I remember when I went to Rajkot also, when he organized one of my youth talks, like what Himadri sir is doing. The way he organizes things, it was amazing. The whole Ramakrishna Ashram in Rajkot, the way he organizes people. Swamiji is an institution by himself. So I would not take much, but I definitely want to tell one incident that has stayed with me forever. This incident is something very personal, which I have never told on public platform. But I feel it is very important to tell because all the people who will now get into the spiritual journey because of Swamiji's talk and who are already on spiritual journey should understand what I'm going to tell about Swamiji. Friends, I've been connected with a lot of saints and sages, with a lot of, background about spirituality since childhood, thanks to my parents. I've been very deeply involved with Chinmaya Mission also. Some of you must have heard about Chinmaya Mission. The 2 great Vedantic role models that I've been influenced with is Swami Chinmayanandaji and Swami Vivekananda. And when I got so close to Swamiji, I just wanted to know how I can be in touch. And Swamiji told me at that particular time, I'm coming to Bombay on this particular day. If you want, you come. And there's a senior monk who will also give Diksha, Mantra Diksha. So I said, okay. But Swamiji was so nice. He said, remember, it is not about Diksha. It's continuing the path. And that's the time I realized he told me that if you're already in Chinmaya Mission, if you're already following a particular path, please continue that. Swamiji, I'm telling you, I was so touched by that particular incident because, for me, both of them are one, be it Swami Chinmayanandaji or Swami Vivekananda. But you said, continue on your path. I came back home and that day I took a sankalpa, Swamiji, that, Swamiji, you are one of my spiritual mentors. Whenever there is a duality in your mind, where to go. Remember one thing, the saints and sages will always keep you on the track. It is not your track or my track. It is the same track that takes you to God. I just want to tell you, Swamiji, you are a part of my life. You have been guiding me virtually and digitally also every day. I was telling Swamiji that I get your messages. He's such an amazing communicator. I watch your videos, YouTube. I get your, every daily messages about Swami Vivekananda, about the works he has done, the books that he has written. He's an ocean. As I told you, it is not my talk. For me, it was just sharing my incident. For all the people who are listening today, the viewers, I have only one suggestion as I wind up. And the suggestion that please listen to him today. Please listen to him every day. There is so much content available on YouTube and so many other public platforms like Facebook. Please follow him. But my final suggestion is, please pray to God that you meet him face to face. Digital blessing is very important as a beginning point. But if you meet Swamiji, you'll understand that he is an institution by itself. He is, for me, a real role model for the youth of this particular country, which is the topic of the day, which is Youth Talk. Thank you, Swamiji, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this particular program. Thank you so much, Himadri sir. Seeking your blessings, and I'm going to listen to your talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much, Dr. Pillai, for that wonderful, engaging introduction of your interactions with Swamiji. I was just thinking that if Swamiji is Gangotri, you are Ganga. And that is what, we have with us this evening, the Gangotri and the Ganga, the ocean of knowledge on both the sides. Dr. Pillai, आपके लिए भी काफी messages आ रहे हैं, आप देखेंगे. People want to really listen to you again and again. So that will, take up very soon. Swamiji, with your blessings and permission, can I present to you the first question this evening?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Swamiji, you've been a mentor, you've been a coach, a guru to millions across the world, be it the common man, be it a corporate czar, be it the politician, or maybe the head of states. Anyone who seeks you out, you've been able to guide them effectively. Today, as everyone struggles to stay afloat in this entire world of uncertainty, what would be your advice to everyone? Because this is an unprecedented time. What would be your advice to them, Swamiji?
Yeah. Now, this is an unusual time. Naturally, it's a very big crisis. But we should not be panicky about it, number one. Second, we should take all precautions. At the same time, not being panicky. Why not being panicky? Because everything is transitory in this world. Nothing is permanent except change in this world. Abraham Lincoln used to keep a plate on his table in which it was written, "This too shall pass." And they would ask, why you have kept this one? He said, sometimes when I get success, I become very much elated. And I remember this sentence, "This too shall pass." So I don't become egoistic. At the same time, when there is some calamity, again, I read this sentence, "This too shall pass." And each and every situation is going to change. Nothing permanent except change. Change will come. It's a question of time when we'll be conquering this coronavirus. There's a guarantee that it will go. There is no guarantee another will not come. So these things will go on. Calamities will come, will go. We have to be very, very bold and face the challenges boldly. I'll share an incident of Swami Vivekananda's life. When Swami Vivekananda was traveling all over the country before going to USA to participate in the World Parliamentary Region, Chicago, he came to Benares. After he had darshan of Durga Mata, he came out. And he was going out. Suddenly, a few monkeys, very ferocious looking monkeys, what we call Hanuman, with big faces, black faces, they started chasing him. So Swamiji started running and the monkeys started following him. Now on one side was the pond, another side was a big wall. So Swamiji had no other way but to go forward and go and run. After some time, he became very much exhausted. Now what to do? Then suddenly he remembered. He just heard an old monk shouting at him, "Hey, डरो मत, बंदर का सामना करो. Don't fear. Face the brutes, face the monkeys." And as soon as Swamiji heard this, he stopped. He looked back and he had a stick. He waved the sticks in front of the monkeys and all the monkeys fled away. Later on in America, Swamiji gave it, during his lecture, he said, that day I learned one of the greatest lessons of my life. What is that? Face the brutes, face the monkeys, face the difficulties. If you scarcely face them, they will run away. But if you are afraid, they will follow, they will follow, they will follow. So don't fear, don't be afraid. I heard a story long back. The goddess of plague was going, and somebody asked, where are you going? She said, I'm going to Baghdad to kill 50,000 people with plague. And then when she was returning, the person said, you told you will be killing 50,000, but I heard 1 lakh people got killed. She said, I killed 50,000, rest were killed because of the fear. They died because of the fear. So now people are getting mentally sick because of the fear. That should not be there. We should face boldly, face the brutes, face the difficulties boldly. And last thing what we have to do is, we have to pray. Swami Vivekananda said that at long last you will understand that the best way to become happy is to see that others are happy. And the best way to get peace of mind is to pray for others' peace of mind. So he used to say, start your meditation every day with a beautiful prayer, which we have been praying. All of us know this prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkam apnuya. Let all be happy, let all be healthy, let all attain goodness, let none get misery. This prayer should be chanted by us at least twice a day, if not more. And then we should also have a special prayer for the coronavirus warriors, doctors, paramedical staff, government officers, police, all of them who are working hard. For them also we should pray. Prayer has got a very, very good effect. It has got a chemical effect also. Scientifically, it has been proved. And if we have unselfish prayer, what will happen? Two things will happen. The person for whom we pray, he or she will get mental peace. But first, the person who prays gets the mental peace by the simple law of karma. And so we should do these things, 4 things. Number 1, don't panic. Second, take all precautions like washing hands, this and that has been told. Third, face the brutes, face the difficulties. And fourth, remember this too shall pass. And go on praying, and we will be coming out of this calamity. No sooner than maybe very soon.
You put it very beautifully, Swamiji. This too shall pass, and the incident of Swami Vivekananda, where he says that we need to embrace fear, we need to face fear. And Swami Vivekananda, of course, was known as somebody who courage was his alter ego. So courage and Vivekananda always used to move together. Now, you mentioned an incident of Swami Vivekananda's life. Swamiji, I've read somewhere that in his book that he had written while on a journey, the book called From Almora to Colombo, and I've read this in complete works of Swami Vivekananda as well. He says, and he exhorts the youth of that day, then, that in order to attain heaven, you need to go and play football rather than study Gita. Of course, he was trying to tell people that if you want to do something on the spiritual side, you need your health first. Only when the body is stable would your mind be able to focus and control, the other distractions. And that was relevant, according to a few people. That might have been relevant almost 120 years back. How relevant is that statement today? How do you think, that same message should be taken by the generation of today?
Very, very true. Okay, I will tell you. This book the name of the book is Lectures from Colombo to Almora. Why Colombo to Almora? Because when Swami Vivekananda returned from America, wherever he went, first he landed at Colombo, which was a part of India at that time. From there to Rameshwaram and Chennai and Calcutta, and last destination was Almora. Wherever he went, he was given a very warm reception, like that of a world conquering hero. And in reply, what lectures he gave, very powerful lectures. And that have been collected in the form of a book called Lectures from Colombo to Almora. So that is number 1. Now, second thing they are telling about that sentence. Yes, that sentence is like this, that you will be nearer to heaven through football rather than by the study of Gita. So one boy came to me and said, Swamiji, I have started now playing football and I have left the reading of the book Gita. I said, why? Because Swamiji said, you'll be nearer to heaven through football rather than the study of Gita. I said, my dear boy, you read the whole sentence. The whole sentence is like this. You will be nearer to heaven through football rather than by the study of Gita, because when you play football, when you become strong, when your muscles are strong, your biceps are strong, you will be able to understand the message of Sri Krishna better. So we have not to leave the reading of Gita. Both are necessary. But you will not be able to understand the message of great Krishna if your body is not fit, if you are not strong. That is what he meant, that our young man people must have, first of all, strong bodies, muscles of iron and nerves of steel, under which dwells a mind made of the same material of which the thunderbolt is made. That was his pet sentence he used to say every young man. So what he wanted, particularly in India, our young people should be strong physically first, then mentally and then intellectually and all that also. But first physical strength comes first. So even for now, what we are talking about going to heaven, or when we are talking about spiritual development, for that also health is necessary. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. That is the power. That sharir, that physical fitness of the body is the first step towards your spiritual development. So, and apart from that, even for developing anything, if you want to go to military, if you want to join army, if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become an engineer, if you want to develop your career, wherever you are, the health will be of paramount importance. Particularly, you can see here who are getting the coronavirus. You said many are getting positive, but many are coming out also. But who are becoming prey? Those whose immune system is weak. Those who have already got some other diseases, they are feeling prey. So that is why we have to be strong physically in order to not only spiritual development, not only for spiritual development, but also in every field. And today we require this message much more. Today it is much more relevant, because many youngsters, they are so much physically weak, and they have to be told to go for, you may not go for football. This is only one way of telling. You may go for cricket, you may go for any outdoor game, but they go only for, nowadays the children go only for the indoor games and only for the video, video and all that, internet and all that. But outdoor games, which will make the body fit, and exercise, physical exercise, yogasana, these are all very important for the modern youth. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, so when I ask a young boy like my son who's 18, that focus on your health, and then other things would keep happening, along with getting his physical, the structure, the infrastructure right, is it also not important for us to help the youth of the day develop the right set of values? The answer to that, of course, is yes. But in one of our interactions, I think that was a couple of years back when you were in Baroda and we were having a group talk, you said the youth of the day must have the values right, which can only be created by their parents first. So what kind of values should the parents get into when they talk to their children, and what kind of values or value system the youth of the day should live by? Because we are very deeply distracted by many things around us, and staying focused, having your rudder straight and guiding you out of that mess is very difficult.
Very good. Now, what I will say for the modern youth, that number one, Swamiji used to say, what we want is man-making education, character-building education, which we are lacking today in the country. So that is the first thing. Career development is a must, but it should be accompanied by character development. And that is not being given importance, neither by the parents nor by the education system. So that is where we should now focus on. And what do I mean by character development is the total personality development. That means physical development of the personality, mental development of the personality, intellectual development of the personality, moral development of the personality, and spiritual development of the personality. and for which three are necessary: IQ, EQ, and SQ. Intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. As you must have heard, that now SQ has become very important. There are many books that have come out. One of the books is by Dana Zohar. She's a professor in Oxford University. The name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, where she says physiologically, biologically, neurologically, and psychologically. From every point of view, there is a comforting evidence. There is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. What is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? SQ will tell you whether to play the game of life or not. What is the purpose of life? What is the aim of life? What is the meaning of life, basically? So these three, IQ, EQ, SQ, all the three are required. And these three, this SQ will come by spiritual development, will come by harmonizing four yogas. So Swami Vivekananda said, the whole gist of Vedanta he gave in his book on Raj Yoga: each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control of philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines, dogmas, rituals, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. So this four yogas, practicing these four yogas: Raj Yoga, meditation; Bhakti Yoga, prayer; Gyan Yoga, reflection, positive reading; and fourth, unselfish service, Karma Yoga. All this jointly, combining the four yogas, will lead you to development of SQ, spiritual development. And this also will lead you, and this will lead you to the total personality development. So 5 values, we can say: self-confidence, self-reliance, self-control, self-knowledge, and self-sacrifice. These 5 values will give, and plus IQ, EQ, SQ will give total personality development. So this is a must, and the parents should also try to see. If the schools, colleges cannot give, the parents should try to see, and they will be able to impart these values, for which the golden formula told by Swami Vivekananda is: be and make. First you become great, then make others great. First you build your own character, then build the character of your children. This is a must. You have to become a role model. The parents should become the role model for the children, and then this gradually, this character development will take place.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Swamiji, these days, it has been seen and observed that because of no new content happening on television, all the other satellite channels, people have gone into watching Doordarshan. On Doordarshan, all the old spiritual epics have been, broadcast once again. Doordarshan became the country's the world's most watched channel. 7.7 crore people were watching Doordarshan. Now, if I watch Ramayana or if I watch Mahabharata, one figure is central to the success of all the protagonists there, and that is the Guru. Everywhere there is the presence of a Guru who's been the guiding force. Margdarshan jo de rahe hain, the Guru has always been present in everybody's life, even 10,000 years earlier. Now, Swamiji, my question to you is, what role do you think a Guru would have to play in the lives of people today? Because yes, a Guru is important, Guru is needed, everyone knows. But how does one go and find a good Guru or the right person? How does one go and identify somebody who would be able to take me to the right destination? Somebody might not be able to find.
So in our scriptures, there are all this information has been given that the Guru is consisting of 2 words. Gu means andhakar, that is darkness, and Ru, that which removes darkness. So Guru is the person who removes the darkness, takes the disciple from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge, from ignorance to enlightenment. That is Guru. The 2 is made up of 2 words. And there have been, how to find out a proper Guru? It's very difficult nowadays because, it's in the market, there are all types of Gurus. So very difficult. So that is why we have to be very cautious, very careful. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that Bhakto hobi to hobi, boka hobi keno. Be a devotee, but don't be a fool. Nobody should take you for a ride. Nowadays, many people are taken for a ride because they don't apply their intelligence. While in the field, they may be very successful and very intelligent when they are talking, when they are in the business. But when they come to religion, they follow blindly and they become prey and they are taken for a ride. No, that should not happen. Even in religion also, we should keep our eyes open. And before taking up anybody as guru, we must follow these 4 conditions that have been prescribed in our scriptures. I'm talking about spiritual gurus at present. I'm not talking about the guru. Nowadays, guru word has become so common. I will say rather cheap also. Management guru and spiritual guru and music guru and mathematics guru. So many have become guru. But earlier, Guru Shabda, Guru word was applied only for spiritual gurus, those who imparts the supreme knowledge of the ultimate, knowledge of the infinite, taking the disciple to the infinite happiness, infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, and going beyond time, space, and causation. That was the great value of the Guru, who used to take the disciple, taking away from Maya, transcending the Maya to the limitless. So that was the great word used. Guru word was used for that particular teacher who takes the disciple to that one. For that type of guru, the 4 conditions have been mentioned in the scriptures: Shrotriya, Brahmanishta, Avrajina, Akamahata. Shrotriya, who has got knowledge of scriptures. Brahmanishta, who is established in Brahman, who has got spiritual development and is always rooted in the ultimate reality. Shrotriya, Brahmanishta. Avrajina, whose character is very strong, who is blemishless. Avrajina, Nishpa, purity personified. And Akamahata, who hasn't got any selfishness in him, who doesn't believe in give and take. If some guru says that you give me $5,000 and then I will give you mantra diksha, then you must remember that he is not a guru, he is a businessman. Business, there is a give and take. Well, here the guru, the real guru, he is out of his own self, everything. Is purely unselfishness is the first category, is the first virtue that he has got. So these are the 4 virtues that have been mentioned in our scriptures. So I'm talking about the spiritual gurus. Now about your own field, you can find out that one is, what we can say is that he must be having 3 things. 1, he should be having competence. Competence is most important. Person who is trying to teach you must be competent and keeping abreast with the latest knowledge. Number 1. Communicability is 2nd. Then only if communicability is not there, he may be very much capable, he must be very knowledgeable, but communicability is important. And 3rd is compassionate. This I am talking about other fields, teachers of other fields. But for the spiritual gurus, these are the 4 conditions.
Swamiji, Vivekananda ji, before he became Swami Vivekananda, and when he was found by Thakurji, Sri Ramakrishna Paramans, when he wanted Narendranath Datta, or Noren, as he used to call him, even Vivekananda tested his guru's words when he put that coin underneath Ramakrishna Paramans' bed, and Ramakrishna Paramans, when he was lying down, he just jumped up that it is burning. At that stage, possibly a man of Swami Vivekananda's, spiritual, mental, and emotional wherewithal, he could do that, test his guru, and figure out that this is the guru for me. How can I really go and test somebody? It is possibly, I don't have that mental wherewithal, that bandwidth I don't have. How can I go and test somebody whether this is the right guru or not? Because knowledge has become very transactional today. Somebody might be able to convince me with the set of knowledge that he or she might have. but is this the right person? Because you mentioned that word very beautifully. This person should have compassion for you, that love, that overflowing love and warmth.
Yes.
ये
Yes.
क्या कर सकते हैं?
Yes. Now I will give, somebody told me that I will take Diksha only if I get a guru like Ramakrishna who can tell, yes, I have seen God and I can make you see, just as he told Swami Vivekananda. I said, of course, you will get Ramakrishna, first become Vivekananda. If you become Vivekananda, you will get Ramakrishna. So when there are qualities necessary for a guru, similarly there are qualities necessary for a disciple also. He told on his scriptures. Shrotriya, Brahmanishta, Avrajina, Kamahata, Akamahata. These are the 4 virtues. Similarly for disciples, proper disciples also there are 4 qualities. 1, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivek. Power of discrimination between what is temporary and what is permanent. 2nd, Iha Mutra Phalbhoga Raga Viraga. Total detachment towards the joys and sense pleasures, not only of this world but of the other worlds. Iha Mutra Phalbhoga Raga Viraga. 3rd, Shamdamadi Shat Sampatti. 6 types of properties. Not the property, this building in Bombay and building in Calcutta. No. 6 types of properties. Sham, Dam, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhan. These 6 qualities. And 4th is Mumukshatva, the desire of emancipation, desire of cutting the bondages, all types of bondages of ignorance, bondages of suffering. If these 4 virtues are there, once you try to imbibe these 4 virtues, you will find proper guru coming into your life.
Absolutely.
Immediately. Make yourself a proper disciple, immediately you will get the proper guru will come to you.
And that is what the mistake we all generally make. We think we should get the source right. I need to have somebody guide me right, and only then can I be right. But maybe I'm not the right seeker. If I'm the right seeker, I'll get the right guru. Thank you so much, Swamiji. Swamiji, एक प्रश्न एक और आ रहा है. कई बार ये because when I go and talk to colleges and universities, this question happens very frequently from the youth of the day. They say that parents ask us to do something. When I read books, the books exactly tell us what the parents ask us to do. But I want to do something else. There is an ethical dilemma when I make a decision or when I'm about to take a decision. How can I manage that ethical dilemma by picking up something I like, at the same time not going wrong ethically, or maybe not compromising with the values? So this question is also coming from one of our young spiritual, students from Ahmedabad, Aishwarya Jain. She says, there is a dilemma. I don't know. What can I do? And how should I really come out of this ethical dilemma in a win-win situation for everyone involved?
Well, nowadays in the society it's very difficult to practice the values. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. That it was always difficult. Practicing these values were always difficult. In the present scenario, it is much more difficult. But previously, in the old age, in the olden times, it was called Satyameva Jayate, and those who followed the truth, they were being given respect. Now, the reverse thing has happened. If somebody tries to practice the truth, he is labeled as impractical. So this is the thing that has come. Under these circumstances, when the whole society is going in a reverse direction, and telling those people who want to follow the virtues or values, telling them as impractical. At that time, to practice the values requires tremendous courage, tremendous mental power, tremendous spiritual power. I'll just share an incident. Many years back, a lady teacher came to me and she was weeping. And she said, everything is gone. What has happened? She said that my principal has said that you must tell a lie. Then only your job will be assured. Otherwise, you will take action against you. What happened, as you know, in many of the schools, they appointed teachers, they give less salary, and something is written there in the register, what they give is less and all that. Something's happening. Anyway, there was an inspection. So the principal said, there is an inspection after 2 days. So you must tell like this. This is what is happening. She said, I'm a follower of Swami Vivekananda. I cannot tell a lie. And the principal became very much annoyed. What? Do you know what is the price you have to pay? You will be kicked out of the job. This was told by the principal. And then she came to me. She said, I have lost my father long back. I am supporting my mother. We are the only two persons. And if I lose the job, it is going to be a very big problem. And I don't want to make any compromise with the principal. So I am in a dilemma. I am very much in dilemma. What to do? I said, I can't decide for you. It is your decision. I can only tell you, Satyameva Jayate Nanritam. This is told in our scriptures that ultimately the truth shall triumph. And I also told all those who have tried to follow the truth will had to pay the price for being truthful. If you are ready to pay the price, then you follow the truth. Otherwise, make a compromise. It depends upon you. But you have to make a sacrifice. Without sacrifice, you can't follow the virtues. So then she left. And after 2 days, she came. She was so happy. I said, what happened? He said, I went there. I went to my house and I reflected on what you have told. And suddenly at night, I thought, no, I am not going to make any compromise with the principles. What will happen? Worst come worst, I will lose my job. Okay. I'll take very simple food. I'll take tuitions if necessary, but I am not going to make any compromise with the principal. And she says, the moment I took that decision, tremendous power came to me, tremendous power from inside. I felt as if I could revolutionize the whole world. Tremendous power came. And next morning, I told the principal, and she was a very shy type of girl. And the principal was amazed. She was talking like a lioness. Said, I am not going to tell a lie. I will tell whatever is happening. Mind you, I am not afraid. You do whatever you like. Now the reverse thing happened. So far the principal was roaring and she was weeping. Now she was roaring and the principal became terrified. Then please don't do. No, I am going to tell the lie. I am not going to tell. Then the principal suddenly said, okay, please do me a favor. Please don't come on that day. I give you leave without asking for a leave. And then she said, today I am having leave. She had not the guts to go against it, but at the same, still she had the guts not to tell a lie. And she managed like that. This is how it. So it's a difficult thing, but even today, there are many people who are following the principles and who are maintaining this, their own dignity, even today.
Absolutely, Swamiji. Being steadfast, being upright has its own rewards, and of course, sacrifices have to be involved. Swamiji, we also observe many people and everyone around. Many a times, it is very easy to get attracted to the negatives, be it, say negative choices in food, in people, actions, addictions. So we are all at times attracted towards things that might not be good, despite knowing fully well this is not going to happen. Is it something to do with our sanskaras of the previous life? Because my karma of this life is absolutely good. I have done nothing wrong. Maybe I'm getting attracted towards something negative. So is it some kind of a sanskara, or is it hardwired neurologically that human mind and human being is first supposed to get through this as a filter before he finds light in life?
Well, the thing is this, our senses want the pleasures. This is the thing. This is a manufacturing defect, not our defect. This is a manufacturing defect. So the Brahma made like this. Paranchi khani vyatranat swayambhu. Parang pashyati nantaratma. Kashchit dhira pratyagmanam aikshat avrit chakshu amritatvam, says the Kathopanishad. The Brahma made this person outright, outlooking. So paranchi khani, all the senses, they go outside. They want to enjoy. Now, that is why we have to have self-control. So they say, Paranji Kani Vyatrana Swayambhu Parang Pashyati Nantaratma. It goes outside, doesn't go inside. But some few people, they meditated, they went inside. Why? For getting immortality. So it is very difficult to bring back that mind. This is a manufacturing defect. So naturally, there is no problem. Now, second thing is that, so inherently, first of all, we want sense pleasures. Now, there can be two ways of fulfilling the sense pleasure, the ethical means and non-ethical means. Mostly, we want shortcut. Why we are suffering? Because we want to go for shortcut. We don't want to go for labor. We don't want to pay the whole price. So we want Apple, this mobile, in only 500 rupees. So you got a very beautiful box, packing box. You can't get the mobile. But we don't understand that and we get cheated. So we have to pay the price. We have to labor hard. We have to prepare that. Now, what we are telling about this is samskaras they do play very important part. So samskaras, a person who is able to resist the temptation when another person is not able to resist the temptation. There is a long queue for getting the wine. You must have seen those pictures. I was so much amazed. Such a long queue for getting the wine. And there's a small queue for getting the rice and dal and all that. What has happened? So what you tell is very right. Because of this wrong association and because of the wrong values that we have been practicing for the last few years and all that, such a degradation in the society that the people are going for such a long queue of it. So this is, of course, basically two things. It's only two things. Number one, outside environment plays a very important part. The association plays an important part. The media plays an important part. Whole day media is showing all negative things. Naturally, you become negative. And the whole society is going one direction. You become that. And third, of course, is even in this adverse circumstances, a few people are still following the values because of their samskaras. So you require extraordinary good samskaras in order to be good, excellent human being in this society. That is the paradox today. But there are some few people, not that all have gone, but there are very few people. Now, because it is the play of samskara, that is why I told Swami Vivekananda this sentence, again very important. What we want is man-making education, character-building education. What is character? It is nothing but the bundles of samskaras. And these samskaras received from four sources. Number one, from the past births. Second, from the parents, either genetically or by behavior. Third, from the environment and from the media and all that environment. And fourth, from the education system, from the teachers. That is why teacher, I call them as torch bearers of change. In the book I have written, teacher as a torch bearer of change. I have told the noblest profession, the best profession, the highest profession, the greatest profession is that of a teacher, because it is the teachers who only can bring about the change, because they can only change the future generation. If you are a teacher in whatever capacity you have a very important role to play in making India a development by 2020. Why? Because more than anybody else, it is you who are shaping the future generations. That is what Dr. Kalam has written in his book, India 2020, Vision of the New Millennium.
Swamiji, you just mentioned Dr. Kalam, and I am aware that you and Dr. Kalam had a very close association together. Now, Dr. Kalam himself might have been a scientist and his role was of a president of the country. But when I met him in Baroda, when he came here and when he entered the room, it was as if a saint has entered. So it was Dr. Kalam the saint too. Can you share an incident or two that you remember that impacted you, or that you'd like to share with our audience today, an interaction between you and Kalam Sahab?
Yes, so there are so many incidents actually. But I'll share one thing that he, he's very humble man. I was so much impressed by his humility. And then his purity, what you told, is very true. Is very true. When I heard that he had taken premature retirement from DRDO and was meeting all the youth, then I thought, here's the man who is the real follower of Swami Vivekananda, because Swami Vivekananda also said, my faith is in the younger generation, and he is meeting the youths. So I wanted him to be introduced with the ideas of Swami Vivekananda. I wanted to give him some books. So with that idea of introducing him to Vivekananda literature, I just telephoned him that, why don't you please come and And there has to be some reason. I said, we have constructed 37 school buildings. We want that you should inaugurate one of the schools. He himself took up the telephone. He said, yes, Swamiji, I will try to come. Then 2-3 times at telephone, he said, I am very busy. Then I heard that he has come to Rajkot. He is going to come to Rajkot on 25th December 2001 for a function related to Christ College. I thought, I was at that time the head of Porbandar Center. I said, that is a very nice thing. So I came to Rajkot from Porbandar to our ashrama and sent a message that I want to meet him personally, to invite you for Porbandar. Where should I meet you? At the airport or at Rajkumar College where I was staying? He had come only for a day. Morning he had come, evening he was to leave. So he sent a message, Swamiji, you are a monk. I should come to meet you. Just imagine. At that time he had not yet become president. But just imagine, he was already a Bharat Ratna at that time. And he said, no, Swamiji, I should come to meet you. And he came to ashram on his way to the airport without our inviting him. And then we had a lot of talks and this and that. I'm not going to details. But then we were, at that time, evening prayer was going on in the temple. So we just asked, would you like to visit the temple? Yes, sure, sir, Swamiji, because we were a little hesitant. It was Aarti time and we did not want the people to be disturbed also and him to be. But no, Swamiji. And then he being a Muslim, whether he would like at the time of prayer to go. No, Swamiji. We thought that he will go climb the stairs up and from a long distance we will show him this is the temple and come back so that the others are also not disturbed. And then he also was in a hurry because it was time for the flight to go. But what he did was he just ran inside all the way and he went right in front of the deity statue and some of the monks were singing the prayer. He sat down with them and then he started meditating and he was in deep meditation. Now the security people are telling, what are you doing? We are getting late for the airport. So then we told in the ears of Dr. Kalam, getting late. There was no reply. Finally, we had to shake him like that. Then he suddenly woke up and then he got up and said, Dr. Kalam is getting late for the airport. Then he stood up, ran all the way in the temple, went down the stairs and he took up the shoes in his hand. He did not wear it, ran to the car which was waiting outside, sat down in the car and then started wearing the shoes. Then we asked Dr. Kalam, what happened? And he said, Swamiji, the music was divine. It entered into my ears. Then it entered into my heart. Then it entered to my soul and I was lost. He used the word only, I was lost. I was lost in meditation. Wow. And then later on in Calcutta, while inaugurating the Swami Vivekananda ancestor place where Swamiji had stayed, that particular museum he was inaugurating later on, he told that when I went to Rajkot, when I went inside the temple, I was lost in meditation. And for the first time, I came to realize that at one stage, time becomes indeterminate. He went beyond time here in Rajkot, in this temple. So just imagine what type of purity he has got, that by listening to the prayer, every day evening we are doing the same prayer, composed by Swamiji, set to music by Swami Vivekananda. But he had such a pure mind that he said, I was lost in meditation. I have many memories of Dr. Kalam, very humble man and a very noble man, one of the noblest human beings that I have met in my life.
It is such a blessing to listen to you this evening about the incidents of Shri APJ Abdul Kalam, and I can see the emotions on Dr. Pillai's face as well. How moved he has been. I'm sure everyone in the audience today is deeply moved because this I have also realized. Great men think and act alike. You, Dr. Pillai, APJ Abdul Kalam ji. I think humility has been one of the strongest benchmarks and the signatures for everyone to attain greatness. I think that is the first step we all also need to take. Swamiji, this takes me to the last question, because that is the time we would have this evening. And after that, I'll just play a small 1-minute video of Dr. Sinha. स्वामी जी, एक आखिरी प्रश्न ये था कि हमारा देश बहुत महान था. We were a great nation. We were the envy of the entire world. Our intellectual wherewithal is unparalleled. We have got no competition in that area. Do you think a time would happen sometime in the a future where our glory will also come back? And if it has to come back, what should be our collective actions as citizens of India? How can we get the glory back?
I am very much sure. I am 100% sure that India will become great. Because Swami Vivekananda was not an astrologer. He was a visionary. And he was a great history reader. Whatever he has told has come out true so far. In 1897, Swami Vivekananda said, India will become independent within 50 years without waging a war under extraordinary circumstances. Nobody ever imagined a country could become independent, that too without war, because Gandhiji came only in 1915 only. And he said this in 1897. And exactly after 50 years, India became independent. Not only that, he said in 1893, when he had gone to America, before the Parliament of Religion, there were 2 months more for him, because that was in September and he reached in July. So he went to Addiscombe and he was talking to his host, and there in the Professor John Henry Wright, who had introduced Swami Vivekananda to the Parliament of Religions, John Henry Wright's wife writes in her diary that one day Swami Vivekananda was in a prophetic mood, and he said, when India becomes independent from the British Dominion, there's a great danger that China will attack. And that happened in 1962. He says this is 1893. Not only that, he told these Americans, Europeans, you have done so much of torture, you have tortured so many people, the inhabitants there. Remember, the God's vengeance is coming. These Chinese people are going to teach you a lesson. He's telling in 1893 and the virus is coming now. Just imagine, 1893, he told Chinese people will teach you a lesson. The vengeance of God will come from China. He told you Americans and you people. And then he told that India, one day he was sitting in Belumat, and when he was meditated, then after his meditation he said, I have seen. Then the disciples were, brother disciples very much astonished. He said, Swamiji, what you have seen? He said, I saw the future of India for next 500 years. What did you see? What did you see? They were very much excited. I saw India has become great. India has become so great that its past glory will fade into insignificance. India was so great. Sone ki chidiya, in economically, financially, culturally, scientifically, every way it was great. But Swami Vivekananda predicted India will become so great that its past glory will fade into insignificance. And I think that will surely come, but we will have to work very hard. And for that, we have to give up this blind imitation of Western materialistic culture. And Swami Vivekananda said, India shall conquer the world by spiritual culture. We have to again get back to that Indian spiritual culture, and we are going to conquer the world. There is no doubt about it.
Such a great blessing we are having this evening through you, through your words. Swami Vivekananda, as if is speaking through you right now for all of us. I am absolutely sure everyone who's been listening to us live and the thousands who are going to be listening to this on YouTube and Facebook, they would absolutely have their lives changed through action and through the sheer dint of their hard work and hard labor. Swamiji, it has been a great privilege, honor, and I consider this to be a part of my family's upbringing, my samskaras, that I could have this audience with you this evening. And the person who gave me those sanskaras, the person who introduced me to Swami Vivekananda right when I was a child at 3 years old, at the same ashram where you are, I had the privilege to be at that stage, and that was Dr. Shailendra Sinha,